Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. It's been a couple days, so let me try to remember where we left off. We got Blue Science up and running. I've built up the rest of the red circuit build. We've got a train bringing iron, which we're not actually unloading yet. We don't really need it just yet because I do have this iron patch here that we're belting in, and I currently only have 2 lines of iron anyway. So as soon as we get to the point that we need more iron, then we can expand by bringing in iron by train. Copper is running low, so we're going to want to get copper set up, but that'll be very easy since we've already got some infrastructure in place. I can just grab copper from there. What else? We've got our advanced refinery going. Somebody had commented something to the effect of, what are you going to use? Here comes some friends. Okay, that was easy. Someone made a comment to the effect of, what are we using light oil for if not making solid fuel? And yeah, we're really only using it to make solid fuel or petroleum. That's it. Let's see here. So this light oil, yeah, this is for the solid fuel, and we turn that on when we have more than 50K. I think we can probably decrease that, no? We can make it 5,000, really. Why is it on now? Oh, okay. Yeah, we do have more than 5,000. I didn't see that. Okay, so we can use that for solid fuel, and then we'll just save a little bit for cracking. But most of it can go towards solid fuel. Now, the other thing that we could do in order to keep the refineries running is we could use a little bit of the petroleum to make solid fuel as well. Because what will happen here is when the petroleum backs up, then the refineries are going to stop, which means I'm not going to make any more heavy or light oil. And that means that I could, if I'm not using petroleum, I could run out of solid fuel, which could eventually mean trouble for my power production. Right. Yeah, see here, I've already been using a lot of coal. And I should really be beyond the phase where we're using coal. So one thing that we could do is we could set up some machines that'll make solid fuel from petroleum as well. It doesn't have to be a lot. And we can set it so that we only make it when the petroleum tanks are full. And that way, that'll just keep the refineries running so that we have a steady supply of heavy oil and light oil in addition to the petroleum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need green circuits. Let's get more steel. And let's get more iron. There we go. Okay. So I'll set up a second row of machines over here. And then we can do this. Do I want to do that? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, let's do this the way I had it. Okay, and we'll set these to make solid fuel from petroleum. This is probably more machine than we need to do this. But, you know, one thing about Factorio is that you rarely will regret building too much of something. Yeah, I should have put this. That's no good. Alright, here, let's do this. Maybe I only need one belt of each. Let's see. This will give me one every 2 seconds. I've got 2, 4, 6, I've got 10. So 10, that's 5 a second. Yeah, we can go to a single belt on both of these. So tell you what, let's just redo this whole thing. I'll move it closer. We can put them all on the same belt. Okay, so this is going to be solid fuel from petroleum. And here, what we can do over here. Whoops. Sorry about that. No, that's dumb. I'm already placing it on both sides of the belt. Okay, so let's just do this. Belt balancer. Or do we want to do it like that? Then half of it will go on this side. There we go. This will put it on both sides of the belt evenly. Okay. Sorry for the brain farts there. I haven't played this in a few days. Alright, get some more pipes. Okay. And then let's make another pump. Now again, I only want to do this when my tanks are full. So right now I don't have any logic attached to it. This is just coming down to explosives. Yeah, so I think I'll just put the pump here. And we'll tell it to run when I've got petroleum exceeding, let's say 40,000. So petroleum greater than, oh no, not 40,000, 80,000. Okay, we're getting some attacks over there. And looks like we barely held it off. We'll have to go over and repair. Okay, now that should be running. And it is. So we just need to hook this up. There we go. And then all the refineries turn on. And that'll eventually lead to more solid fuel from light oil as well. You know what? Actually, I think I should reverse the logic on these. I should only crack it when it's over 5,000. Alright, so let's disconnect this wire. So I'm just, if you go over the wire again, it'll disconnect it. Okay, so now this pump to the solid fuel is unrestricted. And we'll put the restriction on this pump. And we'll tell this to turn on when light oil is greater than 5,000. Okay, so this way it'll go to solid fuel production first, and then if it starts to back up, we'll crack it into petroleum. And then if petroleum backs up, we'll make solid fuel out of it. And if the solid fuel belt gets full, then the whole thing can stop, but at that point, we won't really care. Okay, let's go over here. Wow, that was a big attack. All right. Well, what I want to do today is get robots set up. We do need to build a wall. Right, this kind of early game defense where I just have turrets scattered about is not as effective as it once was. Let's make a turret. I need some copper. I'm just completely out of supplies here. Okay. And we'll repair that. All right. Yeah, that was quite a sizable attack. Oh, now I see why. All right, we better take this spider nest out. I'm not sure when they first appeared, but... Holy moly. Jeez. Okay, looks like we still got a couple worms. All right. Okay, our research queue is done. Let's see. I want stronger explosives. Yeah, that gives me more rocket damage. Let's definitely do that one. Let's do bullet damage and shooting speed. And then we can research production science packs. Braking force for trains allows them to slow down more quickly, which, well, as it says, it allows them to stay at high speed longer. I don't really feel like we need that at this moment, though, so I'll wait on that for later. We can do military 3, and then let's do laser turret upgrades. We don't have laser turrets just yet, but once we start building the wall, that's what I want to be using. Let's look at our power consumption. Okay, we're getting close to the limit on power. All right, well, let's start making some construction bots. Because like I said, I want to be able to use bots to build our eventual wall. That'll make it much easier. Also, once you put a defensive wall in place, you're usually going to want to have robots to maintain it. That's another thing that construction bots can do, is they can pick up repair packs and they'll automatically repair things that get damaged. So we definitely want to take advantage of both of those things for our wall. So let's start making some bots. So how do we do that? Well, here is the recipe. Now you have logistics bots, which we'll do later. First of all, I want to do construction bots. The only difference in the recipe is that one uses green circuits and the other one uses red circuits. Aside from that, they need a flying robot frame. And flying robot frames are made from batteries, electric engines, green circuits, and steel plates. Okay. Now, since I don't have a lot of room over here at the moment, and I haven't made landfill to start filling in this water, I think what I'll do is I'll put the bot production down here south of the bus. Okay. So we're going to be making engine units like we are for the science packs, and then we're going to turn those into electric engine units, and then we'll use those to make the flying robot frames. Okay, so the engine units, we've already seen how those are made. So in fact, we could theoretically copy this part of the build and just make a temporary blueprint with that and paste it over here. Space is really tight. I'll just line it up with the mall. And we'll put it on the other side of this bus. Now we are going to have to add more to the bus, but I think we'll be safe putting it here because the other stuff that we need to add to it, we can add to it down here. We've already left room for more copper and more iron. I might need another belt of steel. No, I think one belt is okay. I will need another line of steel at some point. But you know, later we're going to add blue circuits and stuff like that. But if we introduce it farther over this way, then it won't matter if we use some extra room over here. Okay. So let's just start setting up the engines like we did before. Now, if we already had the bots, this would be much easier. So it's kind of a catch-22 situation. But the bots are not too difficult to set up. Okay. And then electric engine units require the engine units plus lubricant plus electronic circuits. Okay. So let's see how we want to do this. If I put them over here. No, let's move them. Let's put them 2 tiles away. Like this. All right, let's go get some more supplies. I need assembly machines. And I'll grab some inserters. I'm just grabbing half of what's in the chest by control right click. I'll take all of those. Yeah, and I think now let's get more power poles. And I think I'm good there. Okay, so electric engine units, and then as you can see, we are now getting we're getting a fluid input on these machines now. So anytime you have a recipe that requires a fluid on the assembly machines, that fluid input will only show up once it's loaded. Okay, I need pipes too. Let's go get pipes. Didn't think of that. Where are they? Here they are. Let's see. Yeah, we'll grab all the pipes we got. Okie doke. And let's get a power pole down here as well. We'll just line it up like this. 1, 2. Is that? Sometimes it's hard to tell if things are aligned or not. There. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just run pipe straight down there. Is this going to work? Let me see. Okay, and then I need to get the green circuits in. And then those are going to go into the flying robot frames. Okay, those need green circuits too, so I guess that makes sense. Okay. Yep, so we'll leave that set up like that. Okay. Now these are 1-to-1 because it's 10 seconds to make an engine unit and it's 10 seconds to make an electric engine unit. The flying robot frames, however, take 20 seconds. So this needs to feed into twice as many flying robot frame machines, since they take twice as long. So just thinking how we can do this. If I have that belt coming like that, I can side load green circuits there. All right, so we'll need to pick up the green circuits. And then we'll output engine units on the other side. Okay, and then flying robot frames. Can use those. Is that 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's 12. And then we can have a belt with steel and batteries. And then we can bring the engine units out here. Or I'm sorry, the robot frames. And then this one we can just run to both sides like this. this will feed in from that belt. And then we're going to output to the far belt. Oops. And this one is going to pull in from the far belt. Okay. All right, so here we need iron. Okay, great. Okay, and then this belt is going to get steel side loaded. And that'll take care of the engine units. All right, now we need to get some lubricant pumped over there. So let's make another pump if we can. Yep. And we'll go up to our refinery. We can see one of the new features of version 1.0 is that you pollute the water. We can see the water starting to turn green over here. Okay, so lubricant is way up here. There it is. And we're also going to need the sulfuric acid for batteries. Those take sulfuric acid, iron plate, and copper plate. Okay. So I should probably just run pipes for both of those while I'm at it. Alright, so let's put a pump there and a pump there. Here, let's put these down and put the pipes on the hotbar so I can get to these more easily. Oops. Okay. And I'm going to want to run these pipes down so they can join the bus. So I will, yeah, I'll run them down just to the right of this crude oil pipeline. right. Oh, crud. Not quite far enough to reach over. Well, I'm just gonna build onto the path and in the middle of the bus and wherever we can find room. So be it. I prefer not to do that, but I'm not really using my car too much on the path, so it's not such a big problem for me to stay clear of it. Okay. All right, lubricant. There we go. Whew. Okay, now we need green circuits, side loaded. Right there. All right, and now we're making electric engines. It's a little bit complicated, I will admit. And then the electric engines will output onto the other side of the belt, where they will start getting picked up by the flying robot frame machines. And then they will eventually work their way around to the other side. Okay, and then this inner belt needs to have steel plate and batteries. Okay, so let's take care of the steel plate first. And again, we'll want a side load, so let's do steel plate there. And when we start making batteries, we'll feed it onto the other side. Okay, so batteries. For that I'm going to need chemical factories. Actually, let's automate the production of chemical plants. I really should have done that already. We'll do that since it requires pipes. We'll make it over here next to the pipe machines. And that's about all the room that we're going to have in the mall. There we go. I'll leave stone where it is. Okay, so green circuits, gears. Pipes. Actually, let's put this right here. So I can put my output chest there. And we need gears and steel plates. There we go. Okay. Let me see. For batteries, yeah. For batteries, for the science packs anyway, I only need 2 machines. So I'll build it with 6, and that'll give us, well, let's figure out how many we need to feed all these machines. We need 2 batteries per 20 seconds, which is 1 battery per 10 seconds times 24. That's 24 batteries every 10 seconds, which is 2.4 batteries per second. And then we multiply that by 0.75 because of the slower crafting speed on these machines. So we need 1.8 batteries per second to feed this, plus some extra batteries for other stuff. And these are 4 seconds, so with 6 machines, we can make 1.5 per second. Oh, I think I'm going to need more then. Is that right? 1.5? Yeah, 4 machines is 1 per second. And what was it that I said? I need 1.8? Yeah, so this is actually only 1.5. Okay, so let's do this a little bit differently then. We'll do this many. What is that, 16? Yeah, 8 times 2 is 16. That'll give me 4 per second. And I'm pretty sure that'll be enough. We're also going to need more batteries later to make accumulators for solar power. So batteries have multiple uses. And this way it's expandable. We can always add more machines if we need them. Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Where do I run this one? Actually, I'll run the sulfuric acid right here, where we would normally have a 4th belt on this bus. We're also going to need sulfuric acid for blue circuits. Okay. So then we just have to give them copper and iron plate. 1 each. 4 per second. So we can do a shared belt. The placement is unfortunate. Let's switch these belts. No, I can't. These have to be that way. Just because of how I place the inserters. Okay. Ooh, copper plate is looking really bad right now. Yep, definitely need more copper. I've only got about half a belt coming in. We're using about half of that for science packs, and then the rest is getting eaten up by green circuits and military science. So, but anyway, this will at least get us started. Okay, there we can see we've got some batteries going down the line, and we're finally starting to make some flying robot frames. Okay, and from there we can make the robots. Actually, let's bring these over here. I know this is getting to be a lot of spaghetti. Hope you guys don't mind. Okay. And then we'll have two machines here. One of these will have making construction bots, and then the other one, actually let's make another space. 1, 2. All right, so this one can make construction bots, and then later on we'll use this one to make logistics bots. And then on the other belt we'll have red and green circuits. But for now, I only want construction bots. Let's see. One thing I like to do, let's actually move this out by one more tile. Okay. All right, so this is going to be a shared belt of red and green. So let's do that. Okay. And the reason I'm doing this is because this way I can balance production. See, these robot frames come out rather slowly. So if I just put them in a row like this, then whichever one I make first is going to eat up all the robot frames, because it only takes half a second to make the bot itself. So by doing this, what I can do is I can have this one take half, and then this one can take the other half. Like that. Okay. But actually I don't want that other half to be used right now. Right now I only want to make construction bots, so we'll limit it to that for now. Okay, and then I'll just take all these robot frames that I picked up and I'll stick them in here. Okay, so once we're making the bots, we could put them in a chest and then pick them up and add them manually to our bot network, or we can use some circuitry magic and do it automatically. So the first thing that we'll need to do is make a roboport. I'll make a couple of them for now. We're actually going to need to make quite a lot of these to cover the whole base, which I'll show you here in a moment. So let me grab some red circuits. Alright, so that way I can make 5 of these. Alright, and I'm going to put a roboport right there. Okay, so when we hover over a roboport, I really need more power. But I want to use the bots to build it, so I'm just going to ignore it for now. So when you put down the roboport, you'll notice that you have a green zone and an orange zone. The green zone is the construction area, and that's 110 by 110 tiles. And the orange zone is the supply area, which is 50 by 50. And basically what those mean is that construction bots will be able to construct anywhere they have coverage within the green area or the orange area. Okay, so if I issued a command for construction bots to be over here, for example, like if I just ghosted down some belts, then the bots in this roboport would be able to go build it. Okay, because it's within the green area. And then obviously if I put it here, they would also be able to build it. But if I had some logistics bots and I wanted them to move material between one chest and another chest, both of the chests would have to be within the orange zone for it to work. So just remember that the orange zone is for logistics bots and the green zone is for construction bots. Now we can expand the range by placing multiple roboports. And you'll see here that while I'm placing this other roboport, you see a dashed line where it's connecting to the first one that I placed. So as long as I see that line, then these robot coverage areas will be linked. Okay, so if I were to place this other roboport over here, then these two roboports are going to be part of the same network, and the logistics bots will be able to provide services to anything within the orange zones, and the construction bots will be able to access anything that's in the green zones. Okay, so by taking advantage of that, we can build a network that will cover the entire base so that anywhere we want to build, they will be able to reach. Okay, so what we have to do next is start loading bots into the network. And the way that we'll do that is with some inserters. Now I'm going to put these inserters facing away from the roboports because I don't want them to activate yet. And then I'll take one of my wires and I'll connect from the roboport to each of those. Okay, now if I click on the roboport, you can see that I have two options. One, I can use this connection to read the contents of my logistics network. Right now, the contents of my logistics network doesn't exist, but let's start by crafting some provider chests. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to replace some of these chests with passive provider chests. Eventually we'll replace all of these, but for now I'm just doing this just to get things started. Okay. Now you see that those chests are flashing, and that icon means that they're not inside a logistics network. So what I'm going to have to do next is get RoboPort coverage over there. Okay, and that's where these spaces in between my build areas can come in handy. So what I need to do is I need to get all those chests covered by the logistics zone, the orange zone of my bot network. Okay, and now they're connected. And now if I hover over one of these chests, I can see in the tooltip it'll say logistic system storage, and it'll show me the contents of all the chests that are part of this logistics network. So I can see that we have belts, we have inserters, assembly machines, and so on. Okay. So one of the options here is to send a signal through these wires that shows what those contents are. The other option is to read robot statistics, and that's what I want in this case. All right, so this will tell me how many logistics bots are available in the network, how many there are total, and the same for construction bots based on these different signals. So what I'm interested in first is the total number of construction bots. All right, and I'm going to set this inserter to keep adding construction bots until or as long as T is less than or equal to, let's say 250. Okay. So by doing that, I'm going to keep putting in construction bots until there's 250 of them in my network, and then it'll stop. Okay, and now you can see that some of these bots are right away on their way to do something. Let's see what it is that they're doing. I'm not sure what it is. I see a flashing light over here. Okay, so they're picking up some inserters. Ah, okay. See, there's some inserters that I didn't place down when I built this the first time. So they went over and took care of that job, and then they went back to one of the RoboPorts, and they'll just wait there. Okay. And if I hover over a RoboPort, I can see in the tooltips the number of available bots. So this is telling me that I have 80 construction bots right now. The first number is how many are available, which means how many are not assigned to jobs. And the other one is how many there are total. Okay. Now I could do things like I could take my deconstruction planner, for example, and I can deselect some trees, and it'll send construction bots over to get those trees out of the way. Okay. And now you can see we have a little bit of a problem. The bots are all just sitting there holding the wood, and that's because they don't have any place to put it. And that's what storage chests are for. So if I put down, and usually over here by the mall is a good place for storage chests. So if I were to put down a few storage chests over here, now the bots have a place where they can put things that they pick up. Right? So the construction bots, they can pull things out of provider chests if they have a build order for it. And anything that they deconstruct, they will put into a storage chest. And let me show you an example of that. So if I come over here, I can see that this mining drill over here is mined out. So if I use, it's just out of it's just out of range. Let's use a different example. All right, well, let's pick up that tree. Let's pick up that tree. What else could I use this on? Okay, so let's say I just had a bunch of stuff built over here. And then if I deconstruct that, then the construction bots will go over, they'll pick that stuff up, and they'll put it into a storage chest. Okay, and then if later I want to build something again, if I hold shift down, that'll place it as a build order for the bots. The bots will first take it out of storage if it's available, and if there's none in storage, then it'll take it out of the provider chest. All right, so this makes it real easy to build things. So, how many of these? I've got a few more roboports left. Let's build some more roboports. I'm going to need gears, red circuits. You need a lot of red circuits for roboports. That's why I overbuild red circuits. Okay, that'll allow me to build a few more. And then I need gears. And I need steel. Okay. So let's use robots to build another power line. So what I'm going to need to do is extend my robot range, or my robot network range, over to where the power is. And I'll start up here, and I'll just look for places where I can put these things down. Just because these roboports are kind of expensive to make, I usually am looking for... I'm usually looking for a place where I can put these down that will maximize the distance between them, just so I can kind of get more for get more coverage for the number of roboports that I have. All right, so we'll put one right there. Okay, we can put another one. That's just a little bit too far, so we'll put it right there. Okay, now look, we can see bots coming over to build smelting lines, because all these things are still ghosted out. All right, now I really don't want them to do that, to be quite honest. So I'm just going to remove these ghost entities from the map, except for the power poles. Okay, and then I'll just deconstruct whatever they already put down. Okay, this one I'll let them build. Now you can see some of the bots are slowing down because they're running out of battery charge. Right, so all the bots have to recharge with the roboports. So sometimes when you see them moving very slowly like this, it's because they're traveling a long distance and they ran out of charge, and they'll have to get to a roboport so that they can charge up again. Okay, so let's, I'm just gonna handcraft this stuff. I need to make the furnaces. So let's make 5, 10, 15, 20 furnaces. Let's get rid of this coal. And then I'm going to make 40 steam engines. Now you could automate the construction of these things in the mall, but since I'm not going to be using a lot of steam power for the rest of the game, that's why I'm just doing it by hand. And then let me grab more pipe. Okay, so we'll craft 40 of those steam engines. it's going to want wooden power poles, which I think I have over here. Yep, so let's put a storage chest there. And that's outside of the network. Okay, great. All right, so let's not make that a storage chest. At least not for now. I'll just pick up the poles. Okay. So now I'll come over here, I'll open up a storage chest, and I will drop in the steam engines, the boilers, and the power poles. And where are they taking those? Oh, they're taking them down here. Okay. So now I'm going to copy this entire power line, except for the belt, because we're going to share this belt. And I'm going to flip it over, and I'll place it right there. Now I also need to make some burner inserters, since that's what we're using there. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay. And then I'm going to need to extend the network one more time. Okay. And we'll give this power. There we go. Okay, so now this is all within the bot network, and the robots can start building it. All right. Now you'll notice I have a logistics tab on my person. So one thing I can do, rather than running and putting stuff inside a storage chest, I can take these burner inserters and put them in my personal trash slot. And the construction bots will pick those up if they have a need for them. Which in this case they do. And it looks like we're just waiting on a couple more steam engines. Okay, now the water I have to hook up myself. There we go. And let's make sure that these power poles are connected to the rest of the network. It looks like they are. Yep. My maximum power capacity is 42.2 now. Oh, we're missing pipes. Okay, so let's put some pipes in my trash slot, because they don't have access to that yet either. All right, but I just kind of wanted, in this episode, I just kind of wanted to give you a demonstration of how you can use the construction bots to build stuff inside your base. All right, and we need one more power pole on this side. So I'm not carrying any right now, but I'll just put down a ghost. And then as long as we have one in the network, the bots will bring one over. And here it comes. Okay, so that way it makes it easy to, you can blueprint things, paste down the blueprint, and then you can go off and do something else while you just wait for the bots to take care of it for you. Makes it really convenient. All right, let's put down those power poles, and you know what? I'll just make a bunch of, oh, actually I've got some stone furnaces. Let's get 24 stone furnaces and make those available to the bots. I'll take those pipes back, and then they can they can finish building that. All right, so I'll just throw this in a chest. And they can build out the rest of that line. Now, in this case, it doesn't really make much sense to do this because these steel furnaces are already enough to use up this entire line of ore, but, you know, for demonstration purposes, this works. Now, if I go to map view, I can see here that I'm missing a belt. And this is another great thing about bots. You can build from map view. So I'll just select a belt. I'll shift click right there. And then at some point a bot will take a belt over there. So this way you can build stuff from map view using your bots, right? Like we could tell them to bring some splitters over there, you know, if this was inside the network, which it isn't yet, but you know, that's just something that we'll have to work on. Okay, so that's how construction bots work. Later on, we can also talk about personal bots. Now that I have modular armor, I can put devices in my armor. One of those devices that we can put in there is a personal roboport. And with a personal roboport, you can carry around some construction bots with you wherever you go. And you can use them to build and repair things, even if you're outside of your base's robot network. And those are very handy later in the game. At this point in the game, they're not terribly useful because we have very poor options for generating power for our modular armor. All we have are these little weak solar panels and batteries. But later on, we'll get access to a portable fusion reactor. And once you have that, it's a major game changer. Then you can upgrade your armor to the highest tier. You can give yourself lots of power, battery storage. You can carry multiple personal roboports, you know, and you could walk around with 200, 250 construction bots in your inventory that will just build wherever you happen to be. And it's extremely powerful, but that's more of a late game thing. But we will get to it, so don't worry. What should we do? All right, so now that we have bots, let's do a worker robot speed upgrade that will speed up the pace of the bots. We'll also want to do more cargo size upgrades, but for that we need additional science packs that we don't have yet. So at this point, I'll prioritize the robot speed, and then I'm just going to start clicking on these other research things that we can do. This will give us substations. Uranium processing is a good one. Electronics 2 is another good one. Actually, let's do that. And then we'll do uranium processing. Explosive rocketry, that could be fun to play with. Tanks are fun. All right, so we'll keep running down the research. All right, so homework for the next episode will be to continue build more roboports and expand the bot network so that I have logistic and construction coverage over the entire base, or at least as far as, you know, the train stations. We don't need to go all the way out to our mining depots just yet. But I do want to get the entire base covered. And then I'm going to tap into this iron patch, or this copper patch, because we need more copper. I also am going to need some landfill, so I'll probably start expanding my rails out to where the stone patch is so that I can start making landfill so that we can fill in some of this water and keep building over this way. So I'll be working on that, and we'll see each other in the next installment. If you have questions, please let me know, and I will see you next time. Take care.